A second meeting of the Symmes Township Trustees. If you would please stand, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance followed by a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, we're very thankful for friends and family. We thank you for that gift. We ask you that you help Symmes Township watch over our residents, our businesses, our first responders, fire and police, our administration, and our public works. And we also ask you to please watch over the men and women of our military worldwide. God bless Symmes Township. Amen.
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 Roll call, please.
Ms. Lees.
Here.
Mr. Beck.
Here.
Mr. Bryant. Here.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
I move approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes, April 11th, 2023, and special meeting minutes, April 11th and 20th of 2023.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye. Thank you. And with that, we will listen to the fiscal officer's report.
Our checking account balance stands at $9,376,078.41.
I found it.
The HRA account balance is at $2,853.73. The meter investment account balance in April was $8,274,717.72. Revenue to date, $5,165,936.20. Revenue budgeted, $11,951,159.86. Appropriations for 2023, $16,036,177.29. Expenditures to date, $3,111,603.97. Payments made in April, $646,131.34. Some of our major fund balances: the general fund has $2,941,149.06. The park levy has $603,825.86. The Rossi Park levy has $549,350.46. The police levy has $1,175,651.99. The fire levy has $803,261.42. The road levy has $535,556. Safety services levy, $4,245,633.61. The ARP fund, $1,222,607.36. The TIF, or tax increment financing fund, $2,932,052.90. Total of all funds, $17,210,304.95. That's all I've got.
I move approval of the fiscal officer's report.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
No presentations, no public hearings. I move approval of disbursements warrants 82768 to 82891 and vouchers 176 to 234, totaling $646,131.34.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye. Reports, Law Director.
Thank you. Nothing specific to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Police?
I'm Lieutenant Barbara Stuckey, filling in for Lieutenant Mike Tarr, and I have nothing to report from the
Thank you.
Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Fire?
Good evening, Board. You have our submitted report and nothing additional to report tonight.
Thank you, Deputy Chief. Director of Public Works? Kim, anything on behalf of Public Works? Okay. Any committees? Don't think so? Nope. Anything under other? It's already typed here, it says none, so good. You're one step ahead of us, as usual. Hearing from residents.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am Barbara Wilson, and I live in 7906 Clement Street, Madison, Ohio. So I am just here to see where we stand on the Cannon area.
Well, as I mentioned, this was not going to be a fast process, but the lawsuit to try to clear up the ownership of the property has been filed. Some parties have filed an answer. We knew that other parties would not because they don't exist anymore. And the court has scheduled our initial case management conference for May 8th.
Okay.
So, but I don't want you to think that that means the case will be, that is the initial case management conference. That just means we'll all show up. The judge is going to ask us what this case is about, and then we'll proceed from there.
Do you know who the judge is offhand?
I do. It was assigned to Judge Terry Nestor.
Oh, okay.
So I understand the question, but I hope you understand it's not a fast process to get this
Right.
resolved.
Okay. I just was asking because Kim Dennison received a letter, and I talked to Kim about it today, about wanting an approval on landscape design / an abandonment of road, but we can't do any of that, possibly abandonment of road or asking for that, but we can't do any of that until the purchase of the property goes through. So I didn't know if that had suddenly moved up, or we were getting close to being able to,
Was
have
that from the county engineer, or where was
No,
that
that was
from?
from Kim.
Oh, it was from us. Okay,
Yeah, it was the email that you asked, the board
Oh, that
asked me to
was-
send
okay.
to the Civic League.
So
Got
I was just.
Just asking for it in the first place.
Correct, because there really wasn't anything for us to give an opinion on, especially if we don't own the property yet.
And I think from speaking with you, you wanted a representative from the township to come down and make a presentation. Is that what
I had talked to Kim today, but is it necessary to do that until we even own the property to begin with? Because I thought that that's kind of, even when we had talked about landscaping plans that I had received a copy of, we're going nowhere at this point in time anyhow, because the hope would be is that we'd also be able to have that road abandoned, so.
Yes.
Right.
There's.
I guess I
several
look at it
reasons.
more as like chicken or the egg, and we've already put aside, was it $19,000? I think that number
I
sticks in
forget.
my head.
Whatever the appraised amount was,
Yeah.
yes, we have.
So
set
we've put
aside.
that in good faith, assuming that this is going to move forward. So that request was just simply, just Camp Dennison going on record saying, yeah, we want this, we're asking for this, so
Okay.
please help us get this done.
To further put their somewhat stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, and you could even say with a caveat that we will eventually own the property, the township will own the property.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. So
Okay.
I don't know whether they still, if you feel that somebody still needs to come down and talk to them and explain to them what they're looking at then, as far as the landscaping plan, because that's neither
So
here nor there.
we're in no hurry, right? So we're working on a park and recreation technician slash manager. Once we get that in place, they can be our representative to Camp Dennison. So we can work on that coming down.
Or,
and
I mean,
setting-
any of us could come down and meet
Yeah.
with the Civic League.
If you want
be
to go
happy to.
down, or we can just send whoever we hire down.
Okay.
Because I know you also talked to Bill. Did you get your flowers?
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
good.
And
Got your
the
flowers.
I was going to tell you that.
Okay, good.
So we're just wanting to continue on with the beautification of Camp Dennison. We're
Right.
just trying to keep up with understanding where we stand on everything, and because the landscaping design was presented to Camp Dennison at the Civic League last July, and they thought it was great back then, so, but we'll go back through the hoops again.
Unless you've already got that in the meeting minutes.
It's not, it is, there was not, there's a question as to whether it requires a vote or not, which, I'm not sure that it does or doesn't. But it is in the minutes that it was presented to them, so I have not seen the minutes from last July.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can, remind me, is the Civic League, do they meet monthly? Like quarterly?
They meet 4 times a year.
Okay, quarterly. So yeah, if you want to let us know when the next one's coming up, or whichever one makes sense for us to attend. Yeah, we can do that.
All right, thank you.
I was curious real quick, the people who responded, what were their responses?
Oh, for like the county auditor and treasurer, they responded essentially just to say, if we have an interest in the property, we just want to protect that interest to see if there, basically, if there are any back taxes that are owed, they want to make sure that taxes are paid. I can tell you that those parcels have not been taxed. From what we can see, there are no taxes on those parcels. So the state of Ohio filed a response essentially saying they don't even know if they have an interest in that property, which is, we don't know if they do either. But one of the title exams showed that they might have an interest in part of one of the parcels.
Is that because it's state road?
No, actually it's because in a very convoluted series of conveyances, part of one of the parcels was conveyed to Indian Hill at one point, and Indian Hill conveyed it to the state of Ohio, to the, I'm going to say it wrong, I say it wrong every time, the Adjutant General's Office, or Adjutant General's Office.
Adjutant.
Yeah. But when I've talked to their representative in the Attorney General's office, they said, we have no idea what you're talking about. And that's, which is the very problem that we're having with this property, right? No one seems to know if they ever owned it or owned a part of it or what happened to it, which is why we've filed what we filed, to just tell the court, nobody's claiming it, we'll take it, and then take care and maintain it after that.
And the statute of limitations for anyone to respond would be, was it a year? 1 year from the point it was filed?
Well, to file an answer
Yeah.
is only 28 days from the time they're served.
Oh,
The issue
okay.
we have is that many of the entities that we had to name as possible defendants don't exist anymore. We know they don't exist, so you can't actually get physical service done because they don't exist. So what will likely happen at this case management conference with the judge next week is that we'll explain that. They'll decide if they want us to put an ad in the paper to say that we've satisfied any other service requirements, and then we'll just go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
So this won't necessarily take a long time. I mean, this
I
could
wouldn't
happen
say it
in
will
a
take
few
a long, I
months.
guess it's all relative, right? Probably seems like it's been a long time already.
Right.
But it won't be an indefinite period. We'll have our case management conference next week. The judge will give us some indication about how the court wants to proceed. And if we have to put an ad in the paper for however many weeks they tell us, we'll do that. And at a certain point, we'll have satisfied all of those requirements. And it's unlikely that anyone will have responded to claim any ownership in the property.
Is that ad in the paper, is that 30 days also?
I can't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to say something that's wrong. There are notice requirements that would have to be published in a newspaper for so many weeks, and I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Yeah, please come up, just state your name, your address, and
I'm Ann Lenning, 9959 Lincoln Road, Camp Dennison. I'm the new treasurer for the Civic League.
great.
Right.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. But I just wanted to thank you guys for everything you've done to support Camp Dennison, and Barbara's done a wonderful job. We've gotten so many wonderful comments from other residents saying, hey, keep it up. We think you guys are doing great, blah, blah, blah.
That's good to hear.
So, getting a lot of support.
Well, we
They
appreciate
like-
that.
They like the way we're going. So
Good.
We hope to continue that.
Good.
So,
And let us
Good.
know if there's anything else we can do. We're
I'm
happy to
sorry you
help.
said that. Real sorry you said
I don't
that.
know, every time I see Barb call me, I'm like, oh, should I answer?
Well, now Jim's gonna run.
My number.
Basically, that's.
Thank you,
Thank
Ann.
you.
We appreciate it. Thank you. It's always good to hear some kudos.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Correspondence is attached to the meeting minutes. That brings us to events and meetings coming up. Thank you. Good night. The special trustees meeting Wednesday, May 3rd at 5 PM to conduct interviews for the Parks and Recreation Technician Manager. Story time with the library Friday, May 19th, 2023 from 10 to 10:30 a.m. at the Home of the Brave Park. Cleanup Day, Saturday, May 20th, 2023 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Home of the Brave Park. Finance Committee meeting Wednesday, May 24th at 6 p.m. at the Administration Building. Symmes Honors Veterans, Friday, May 26, 2023 at 7 p.m. at Home of the Brave Park. Memorial Day holiday, Monday, May 29th, 2023. All township buildings will be closed that day. Yoga in the Park, Saturday, June 3rd at 9 a.m. moves back to Hopewell Meadows Park from where it has been during the winter months at the Safety Service Center. Hazardous household waste drop-off, Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. at Home of the Brave Park. Pickleball lessons, first one Saturday, June 3rd, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. at Hopewell Meadows Park. Board of Zoning Appeals meeting Monday, June 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. And the next regular trustees meeting will be Tuesday, June 6th, 2023 at 7 p.m. here at the Administration Building. No old business, so we roll right into new business. First item, discussion concerning the bicentennial logo and setting a date and budget for the events. Kim, do you want to tee this off for us?
Sure. So last year, I think, or beginning of this year, we talked about having a bicentennial event next year for bicentennial. And we had asked Alpha Graphics to do some original designs for us, to maybe start us off on a path to maybe see, you know, if you guys, what kind of logo you guys want to do just for the bicentennial, or do you want to change the logo, incorporate a new logo, and maybe drop the bicentennial later, or do something similar to the logo we have and just kind of change it for the bicentennial. So they keep emailing me, so I just I'm asking you guys if you are ready to pick something, suggest something. And then kind of talk about like when, like what part of the time of the year do we want to have it? You know, what kind of event do we want to have? I know that we kind of talked about maybe doing small, many events throughout the year, maybe small in nature and maybe one big one.
Right.
So,
So I think we had a meeting with Cece and so I guess we decided that we wanted to do smaller events and then maybe one big event in the summer.
Yep.
Right? So I think.
In conjunction with the chamber?
In conjunction with the chamber,
Okay.
yeah. So we probably need to get together again and sit down and kind of narrow it down, because we were just brainstorming at the time, so we were throwing out all different ideas, and so we probably need to narrow it down.
okay.
And I know that Phil also sent out some logos, and I personally like the ones he sent out, so I don't know how you guys feel. What do you like?
I personally did not like the modernistic thing if we're talking about a historical event. So the ones from Alpha Graphics and so on were not really to my taste,
Okay.
any of them. Okay. With respect to what Phil sent out, it raises a couple questions. Number one, who did it? Do we pay for it? Should we pay for it? If we were to pick one and use it, would we need a release so that we can use it without somebody coming back later and suing us? So,
Oh, you're talking about the
Yes,
the
yes.
ones that I,
Well,
so,
we would definitely have to put them under contract, right?
yes,
Right.
okay.
yeah.
Is there one that the two of you like better? Do you want to narrow it down and take a vote? Kim, do you like?
Well,
Joe,
if you
which ones
count
do
the
you
top,
like? You like this
counting
one?
across,
Okay, so I
you
like
got
these
4 and then
four.
4.
This is
I'm
my favorite,
interested,
but
I
I'm
like the
willing
one that's,
To do any.
call it the 6th one if you want,
So you like the
I like
yellow
that one.
circle?
with
I like the
1824 on
color.
it.
Yes.
I like the orange one too with the circle.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
I like the green one, but I'm willing to do it looks like mustard to me, mustard yellow, not like
Well,
orange.
well,
But
let me just-
I'm willing to do either one.
Well,
Do you want us to have it, or have her do more of the orange leaf that's in the?
Yeah, because I feel like the colors on top are, I don't know, maybe a little brighter on that one.
well,
Do you know what I mean? Right here looks kind of dull to me. Like the green here makes it pop more. So maybe if we.
I don't mind the green, I just think the size, I would like to have
We
the
can make it
larger
bigger.
You can
meatball.
make it bigger.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want, but I just wish if you're gonna do the mustard orange, or I think it's mustard yellow, if you just make it a little brighter. Don't you think it needs to be a little brighter?
Okay. Unless you want us to
Fine
do
with
the
that.
bigger circle but with the green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the bigger
wanna do
circle
that?
with the green. What do you think?
I don't
care.
Kelly was mentioning to me
I don't
that
have
our
any objection to
green,
it. I like the bigger one.
she was
as
struggling
well.
with our green color.
Oh.
Is that okay?
I think it's just
Are-
when you paint it on the sign, it just
Are you
tends
gonna
to
front
fade
this,
more
Phil?
than
Go
any
Yeah.
back to
other
whoever
colors.
author, the,
Yeah.
But like what I
Was
would
it
do
the
is,
No. Okay. So
Do you want to show our Camp
graphic
Dennison
designer.
residents and see what you
Okay.
think?
but
Here, these are the two. We might as well include them since they're here.
Absolutely.
These are our two that we're going for our bicentennial, these two. We kind of like the circle because it's like, comes full circle, 200 years circle around. These two, yeah. This can be as big as this.
Well, this is this is the Symmes Township color, correct?
Yes.
well, they're all both of them
Oh,
Symmes
yeah.
colors. They're in the leaves.
Kelly said not to go with the one that's dotted because if they do like stuff
Yeah,
around,
Yeah.
it would cause too much problems.
yep.
I think about the same to me. Green and
All right, so you're down for either one.
I'm down with
Yeah.
Do you like this?
it. Yeah, I do like them.
Yeah.
The only,
So
the
we'll
only
have
thing
to
I would
talk to
say
you
is
too.
I like the bigger,
We
what
can
circle?
make it bigger.
Okay.
We'll have to talk about
And I don't
Dennison's.
care
We'll
which
have
color.
to do something for
That
bicentennial.
We
Down there.
shot off cannons down there at the Walschmidt House before and done a Civil War reenactment.
Yeah, that would be fun. We talked about Civil War
Yeah.
reenactments.
Yeah.
yeah, something down there.
So we want to go, Wanna go
If the
green?
Civic Association, whatever, has any great ideas,
okay.
put them forth, okay?
But this size.
Seriously.
Actually,
Give
she
me any
has,
size we want.
she has, one of the residents has a lot of letters she's collected from soldiers that were stationed in Camp Dennison.
okay.
Writing
Cool.
home.
Okay.
Yeah. She's offered to do something for the Civic League sometime, like read, do some kind of reading.
That'd be
Okay.
fun,
That's
too.
awesome.
She's collected a lot of them. Sounds
So,
like-
an event, so to speak, held in Camp Dennison by Camp Dennison residents as part of Symmes Township, but it's a winner to
When
me.
is the celebration?
It's all year,
It's
but
gonna
we're
be
gonna,
all-
we're gonna have one keynote event
Right.
to be determined.
And then we're going to do small events throughout the year just to celebrate.
And that could be one of the smaller
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
And we need to understand how much it's gonna cost, just roll that into our budget,
Right.
okay? So if you guys come up with how you wanna do that and so on, and for Symmes Township to sponsor it as part of the bicentennial celebration, that's the best way to do it,
Okay.
okay?
And if you have an event, you probably need to convey that to Kim, so if we meet,
Sure.
we can make sure we incorporate those events.
Well, one of the things I'd like to see us do is almost like a passport that gets stamped in each of our parks so that we can get all our residents to recognize all the parks that we have throughout the township.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And then maybe you could submit that and get like a patch.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Or a stamp on
Thinking
your,
like you.
stamp on your
You
forehead.
like me boys, gentlemen, I'm impressed.
So
Yeah.
you could
I
go
was
to
thinking
the,
about like the geocaching, so you take them to each park and there's things that they gotta find in each park, but the stamp book's
Yeah.
just the same.
Now that we
idea.
have ODNR stocking our ponds and so on, so we're gonna have a fishing tournament.
I think you mentioned that.
You did?
Yeah, for
Huh?
years I've been talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay,
this
well, how
tournament.
about that? But we gotta make sure it's stocked.
Right,
We don't want people fishing and not catching anything.
yeah.
Well, we could maybe plan it around April, if we know they're gonna come back, ODNR is gonna come back every April to stock it.
Yeah, that's-
Especially with trout, maybe we can plan something late.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a small little,
Yeah, like a spring kind of thing.
yeah, like a father-son, father-daughter, mother-son, mother, you
Di-
know,
different
like-
categories, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, just fun.
But problem is, everybody has, all adults have to have a license now.
Yep.
Okay, since ODNR has taken over the stocking and so on and so forth of these ponds.
How much is
One
a
of their
license?
requirements is the adults
bucks?
above,
Say like $10.
above 12 has to have a license.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
I just,
could,
that needs to be communicated, is the only
the
reason.
prize could give them their money back plus, we gotta do prizes and levels and things like that. Okay,
So for the big event, I just naturally think about a summer festival with
Right.
fireworks. Is that what we're thinking, or are we thinking something
That's
else?
kind of what I thought, like maybe if you have a band.
I mean, we're having
Band,
fireworks
Like what we
anyway.
used to
food
do.
trucks.
We're gonna do fireworks
Yeah.
anyway, right? Or we're
Yeah.
paying for fireworks somewhere.
Did
Sure.
we call that Symmes Fest,
Yeah.
our summer festival we used to do?
yeah. I think we should put a tag for the bicentennial.
Our bicentennial blast.
Boy, Ken, you're getting creative.
You're on a roll tonight.
You
I'm
are.
writing that down.
That is fun. We're gonna incorporate Sims somehow, though.
Yeah, well, Symmes bicentennial blast.
Check that box.
I'm notorious for stating the obvious.
Right,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so we like the green,
I don't really have a preference.
I like the
okay,
green.
green meatball, is that what you called it?
Yeah,
And they gotta make sure.
In the bigger
it's
size.
18,
Yes.
24.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
noted that.
Say
noticed
19.
that.
In the-
This
in
is
the
a
bigger-
shop drawing.
in the
so we'll
bigger
note it up.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it'll be any size you
yeah.
want.
No, I mean,
And I think we should
there's
do,
more space
for the
around
staff,
this,
for the
here
year.
than there is there.
that
The
should be
letters
the
here are
logo on
bigger.
our shirts.
okay? To fit in that bigger circle,
Okay.
they're bigger, but
Yeah.
you got more space up here and down there.
Yes, okay, all right.
And
I
and
will relay that.
1824, not 1924.
Yep, yeah, this is a
So-
shop drawing, we noted
Fine.
that
So
comment.
Phil, can you do us a favor?
Yeah.
And maybe have the woman that designed that contact me, and
Yes.
then we can
Negotiate.
figure out what we need to do to buy it or redesign, whatever it
Yeah.
has to be.
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna use that on stationery and so on for
Yeah,
2024?
I would use it on everything.
And
Everything.
then if we had to, we go back to the old stuff, so don't have
Yeah.
to throw it away. You know,
Right.
but, yeah, I like that.
I know at one time Phil was talking about the coin. Do you want to do a
Oh,
coin?
yeah, we talked about that.
You talked about a coin, right? Coin.
The challenge
Like,
coin kind of thing?
Challenge coin,
That we could
pass out.
give out as a thank you,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, gotta look at how many and how much they're gonna cost. I have no idea whether they're 5 cents or $5.
They're,
Yeah, the
they're
way I
not
looked
cheap.
into them,
They're not cheap.
yeah, they're not cheap, but
Okay,
they just basically, they need to know how we want to design it.
okay.
So if we want to put our logo
On
one
Either that or-
side, we
and
would just
then-
have to figure out what to put on the other side.
Or we do like the patch. Instead of a
patch is
coin.
cute.
Yeah, you can give out a patch as a thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll bet that's a lot more cost.
cost effective, yeah. Then when you get your passport stamped and all the parks and so on, you get a patch.
Right.
Okay,
Of
so
course, you
we'll
get
we'll
one
have
if
to
you
talk
don't
to
do
the
it.
logistics of that, because they're, where are they getting their stamp? You wouldn't, when you have a passport book,
Mhm.
how are you getting stamped? Do you have to come here and get stamped? And how do you prove they went to that park?
Maybe they show a
Uh,
selfie.
That's what I was talking about, like a geocaching thing, like they have boxes that you hide in the park, and the stamp would be in the box,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, or a sticker that you put on your passport.
There's a
Yeah.
family in Camp Dennison that are geocaching experts.
Okay, we'll have to,
Probably one in my neighborhood too.
yeah, so, something like that.
Tuttles. Yeah, the husband goes all over the country.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big time into it. Yeah, we could check with him.
How to do it, logistics,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
okay. Good with that one? Next is discussion concerning the installation of solar panels at the Symmes Safety Center.
So I asked you guys, or sent information to you, updated information from Verigy, and it went over all the questions. I basically emailed you, like, the answers to all the questions that I heard at the last meeting. Is there any questions you guys might have? And I really just need a yes or no. Like, is this something you guys want to pursue, or is it something you don't want to pursue? So I can just let them know so they,
Well, when we were discussing solar panels, I was thinking more of like for our park shelters,
okay.
not for the safety center. I think the safety center, wasn't the cost
Yeah.
extremely high?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
gonna be 700.
Our net was 700, over 700,000.
$776,069. So it's originally a $1.3 million project, and with all the rebates, it ends up being $776,069.
And how long would that be before we got our money back from?
You don't really get it back, so it's like a 35-year payoff to be able to get it back. And then,
The
so
panels.
the warranty was a question, so there's 25 years on production and 10 to 15 years on the panels themselves.
Yep.
Guarantee payment for rebate, I know there was a question about that, so that what I was told was that the federal government budgeted so much money for this, but at the same time, if you turn in a rebate, it's an automatic rebate that you get. So if they budget $5 million and they get $10 million worth of requests, they have to honor $10 million worth of requests. I have no idea where they're getting the extra money from, but that's
Well,
how that program
They
works.
just, they just
Yeah,
print
they just
it.
print it, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see, 35, yeah, the solar panels do not pay themselves off until year 35. If the project gets done, it would be for green initiative or, but not to save money.
Optics.
Yeah, solar panels have a 40 to 50 year lifespan. So you could see, you know, after 15 years where you might have to replace certain panels.
So I would like it for our park shelters. I think it's too big of a project for our safety center.
Okay.
I agree. I don't think it's,
I mean, if we could
I don't want to
do-
spend that money just for optics. And then I worry about recycling of these materials and so on downstream. It's not without fault.
Right.
And I also learned something else from Kim digging into this. I was under the impression that the federal government required utilities to buy excess power. If you generated more than you needed solar,
It used to be that way.
that the utility was obligated to buy it from you.
It might have been at one time, but it's no longer
But
the
she
case.
tells me that that's no longer true, and even though we would not necessarily be incorporated into the distribution system because we're hooked up to it, we have to pay distribution costs. So all we would be saving is generation costs, not
Right.
distribution costs. So it's still have a Duke bill every month, even though we generate and we're self-sufficient. That does not make fiscal sense to me.
And by the way, they are absorbing that added energy that we're creating.
Yes,
Right.
We're not getting reimbursed for it.
that's green energy.
So if we could find something that would help our park shelters, I might be interested
So
in that.
would that be like
But-
for the lights in the
Yeah, for the
shelters?
shelters.
Well, the
yeah.
issue there is each individual shelter would
Generate
have,
for the
you'd have to
bathrooms.
determine how much capacity has to be generated for each individual one. Figure out the size and then the distribution system
And
for
then
it.
you place the panels on the roof.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking too, we could always get solar lights to put on poles,
Yep.
that you don't need all that jazz to go with it. It's just a solar light and it, you know.
Well, that would be
And then we wouldn't
appropriate
have to
too.
rent all those light towers, all of the light towers. I mean, I know we have 2 now, but we wouldn't have to get 5 or 6 of them to do like Fall Fest. We would just have these poles at different locations throughout the park that we, that generate their own electricity.
I guess I'd like to move along here from this standpoint only. I don't want to cut the discussion short, but I think it would be nice for you to look into these different options and come back to us in the future as to
Okay.
what we can do and what our options are. And the question on the table tonight is, do we want to do the Safety Service Center with this company? And my vote is no.
Okay,
Well, I think I heard that.
I agree.
All right.
yeah, all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Okay, next item. We need to set a public hearing date for the tax budget. So I move we set this public hearing date for the tax budget for Tuesday, June 6th, 2023 at 7:05 PM.
Second.
So this is in conjunction with our June trustees meeting.
Yes.
So we open the meeting, then we
Go into this hearing.
go into this hearing.
Yeah, we'll go into the
Okay.
public hearing, we'll discuss all the we'll shorten it, because we'll have a finance committee meeting in May, and then we'll do the highlights of the June meeting. We'll make it available for the public to view.
Now, this is the
And then-
final one for the year, right?
This would be for tax for fiscal year 2024.
Okay.
So this is our tax budget,
Got it.
so then we would have to approve that at our July meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryan.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2023-55, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into an agreement with Civic Plus to redesign the Symmes Township website at a cost not to exceed $41,744.55 and to provide the product suite of Civic Rec and Civic Engage and Civic Clerk on an annual basis.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah. Let's talk about the total expenditures for that redo.
Okay?
I just looked through the staff report and I didn't see any numbers with it, but I know that it's several $1,000s a year just to maintain this. once you switch over to it?
Yeah, so the initial cost is $41,744.55. The annual cost for the software support roughly is about $16,115
Per year?
per year.
How much do we pay now?
Nothing?
It's $250 a quarter, and then we pay like $2,000 a year for ADA stuff,
Well,
so.
we have somebody that's maintaining our website. We're paying them on a monthly basis and so on. That's still going to continue, right? Or is this
Not with
company going to do it?
This would change it all.
Oh,
So
so
we would-
all of our, you're going to say, software is going to be supported by this company. But we
Yes.
still have to have the server support and all the other stuff, right?
By this company. So we
They're going
don't-
to take over from
Yeah, we
Summit?
wouldn't have Legend, no, we wouldn't have Legend WebWorks anymore.
Okay,
So Legend WebWorks, I mean, they're great for
Okay.
small entities, but they don't do anything complicated like
Alright.
what we've asked them to provide with
okay.
this
How much are we
civics
paying them a
package.
year?
It's probably around $3,500 a year.
Okay.
And then we pay the $500 for the constant
Okay,
contact,
so
which is the
less than
monthly email.
4,000 going to 16,000
Yeah.
per year.
But there's huge differences.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
I mean, you can't do an apples to apples comparison because
Understand,
with the
understand.
civic park, we had talked about doing, this would allow us to put all our park reservations online so that people can go online, register online, schedule their shelters, and pay everything online with a credit card, and then you wouldn't even need to contact the office.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you have
And
questions.
how much,
And-
how much is that costing us now?
We can't
To
do,
do
we don't have
in-
the
to do
capability
in-house?
to do it.
Huh?
We
We're
don't
doing
have
it,
the capability online to do that.
we're doing it manually. How much
Yes,
does it
we're
cost
doing
us
it
now to
manually.
do that? How much does it cost us now to do that?
But we
manually?
pay a staff person to do it. I
Pay
mean,
staff. So
Yeah.
Okay.
my goal would be to move a staff person somewhere else and create like a different we don't need someone to sit by the phone 24/7. And that's what this job is. They have to sit, take the reservation, write the check, deal with it. By doing it on the website, we can take that person and move them into a different role and save money.
You mean somebody's not going to answer our phone personally?
Well, you would have somebody answer your phone, but
It wouldn't just
right
be at
now
the
it's
same
80%.
frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
you
at the
could-
same frequency.
You technically could, if you remove this, you technically could have that as a
Okay.
part-time job, right?
Yeah, you could.
Right, that would be my goal.
Hmm.
And so that's where the money saving would be, because we can change roles. Because we don't need someone sitting by the phone 24/7, and you're not going to be getting the amount of calls that we get because it's being done online. So we kind of maybe juggle some of our job descriptions.
Is that the only aspect of that program that replaces the manual method we deal with now? Or
That's
the-
just the one piece. So the park rec is the part that is where you can do all the online reservations. And then the Civic Engage is the actual website. So that's where all of your information resides. That's where all your archives are, all the information you want to push out to the community is on the Civic Engage.
Okay.
And then there's the Civic Clerk, which is another piece of that, which is more of a meeting and a minutes thing that kind of goes with the whole website. And you can, it's kind of a neat little thing when they did the demonstration for us. So where I could go in and create the agenda, and then instead of scanning you 100 pages, like I can just drop in pieces of information into it, and then it publishes it for you guys to view, like secondary, and you can view the different pieces and parts to it instead of having to scroll through all the information. And then from that, it'll allow me to generate minutes based on, like I could literally sit here and type your answers when you say yes, yes, or no, whatever it is during the meeting, and generate the minutes almost as you walk out the door.
So that would expedite
So
that.
Yes, it would help us. It would also help Luann with BZA. It would help Kelly with zoning commission. So it's going to improve that productivity from
Is there
inside
any
our office.
other township that uses that, do you know?
Yes, so Kelly looked them all up, so we have Delhi Township, Colerain Township, Beaver Creek, Zanesville, Prairie Township, Miami Township in Montgomery County, Ashtabula County, Indian Hill is doing it, but they haven't launched it yet. That's Civic Plus, and then the Civic Rec, Colerain
Okay.
Township uses it.
Is there any one township that we know of that's using all three pieces? Or are we going to be the first?
Well, it says Colerain Township uses it. We can check to see if they have the Civic Clerk. And then it says Indian Hill bought all of them, but they haven't launched them yet.
Okay.
So those are the only two in Hamilton County.
And does this change the look of our website?
Yes, this will completely redesign the website, and the nice thing about this website versus how we do it now is you will actually be able to go and sign up for what's called a listserv. So if you have an interest only in getting notifications about public hearings and you want to know specifically about zone changes, you would hit the button for that. You would sign up, put your email address in there, and then if anytime we had a public hearing about any type of zone change, you're going to get a notification. So you no longer have to go to our website to look for that information. It just gets automatically sent to you. Same thing for any park and recreation events, hazardous household waste, cleanup day, Fall Fest, Operation Santa. So all those things, if Luann's going to type it in, she can also schedule things. So if we know we're going to have a public hearing and we know it's going to be next month, she can already go in the computer and tell the computer to schedule it, to go ahead and send the notification out, and it'll push it out at a certain time that she chooses.
And so like we did pickleball signups, because we can only take a certain amount at a time. I mean, you could technically go online instead of having to call Luann and make it, just so you know.
Until
Pickleball,
until
it
it's
went
filled
out in
up.
a newsletter,
And it's
and then you
and
get
it's
a
going to
wait
tell you
list.
it's filled up?
So
It's
Colerain
already
Township
full.
has
Yeah,
all
it's
three.
booked.
He just
Okay.
looked.
Okay.
So Luann sent out the email about pickleball lessons. By noon, it was full.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that? We have a waiting list.
Wow.
So we need more pickleball.
We might need more pickleball.
Well, they have to learn to play first.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So this, is from the sound of it, correct me if I'm wrong, but this would, when we hear feedback from residents primarily about, oh, I didn't know about that hearing, or
Right.
how do I find out about this or that? And this
Sign up.
would be the answer.
Yes, this will be the answer, and then I think it's also going to help us now because a lot of people say they can't find things on our website. So I think the way Civic Plus does it, that it'll just organize it in a better manner, and it's got a search function on it. It'll just be able to find things quicker and easier.
And I think
Okay.
we could justify the cost because it will free up employee time. So we can put we can move job descriptions, I think.
So would
Okay.
our website look like Colerain's website, except ours says Symmes?
Could.
Or are we
I would
able to?
think that
However
we
you wanna
gotta
set it
Make
have,
it
up, right?
unique.
Set it up.
we gotta have
Set
some
it up.
graphic design that we want, not theirs.
I'm just,
Okay.
I-
And who's going to
not thinking
coordinate?
that that's a good thing. We want ours to be unique, but as long as it's functional.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through this several times, so what they would do is they'll mock up like maybe 4 versions, and
Okay.
then they'll give it to us and say, which ones do you want, which colors do you want, what do you
Okay.
prefer? And then we
Okay.
would take it to you guys and let you guys decide,
Okay.
what do you like best? And
When-
that's how they would structure it all.
Okay.
And then we would just, give them a bunch of pictures and stuff that they could put in there and do the scrolling.
Okay. Question on finance here. If it's going to cost $41,745 for the system, and it's going to cost us $16,000 and something per year to maintain it, that first year when it's done, do we have to spend both, so it's really a $50,000-$60,000 expenditure?
No, this year it's 41,000 and it would
And that
launch-
includes the 16 or whatever?
Well, we'll have to talk to them about that because it takes them about 4 to 5 months to build it. The difficult part about our park and rec is because of the address space that they have to put in. So they have to actually physically build an address base that's Symmes Township residents' addresses versus everybody else's.
But we
Like not.
don't necessarily have that, do we? I mean, our
No, we have it in a book.
Our newsletter goes out to resident at this address.
We have it in a book, in a zip, we have it in a Excel file. But
Really?
I don't know if they'll be able to transfer it, so they might have to build the whole thing. That's why it costs what it
Does
costs.
does that come off of the auditor's website as to who owns the property, or where did we get that?
The addresses, we get them off zoning permits when they come in.
But what if somebody in Symmes Township has never asked for one? Are they not on the list?
I don't know, I mean,
Okay.
Luann has a big thick book about this thick that it's got all of our address bases in it for every street in the whole township,
Okay. I can see where that exists, but it has to be kept up, and as people move and so on, somebody moves out and somebody else moves in.
Well, it's just the addresses, so the address never changes.
Ah, so it's resident
Yes.
at that address.
Yes.
Okay, it's the same as our mailing list for a
Yes.
newsletter.
And then it's also the same mailing list that we use for notifications when we have paving and the like.
Okay, all right.
So when you have to give public notifications, rather than going through the newspaper and spending money that way, can be done through that?
No, unfortunately, state law says that we still have to advertise in the newspaper.
And you have to notify people within such and such a distance, right? For hearings?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We
And
still have to
we
send
can't do
that
that this
mail.
way. You might identify who to send it to that way, but you can't send it that way.
No.
All right. I see value. I just, that's a lot of money. Okay, especially the maintenance is 16,000 and something a year. And that isn't gonna do anything but go up.
True. But hopefully, the 16,000 will equal better productivity for the employees in the office.
Right. And more functionality for the residents.
Yeah, and then we'll be on the more progressive end, Ken.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I forget what we spent to build the website that we have, but it's not.
Not that
Yeah, it
much.
was
It's gr-
somewhere
it's not
between
great.
5 and 10,000 probably.
Right. Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, and it served its purpose for, 5 or so years.
Except people now can't find anything, they said.
Right.
Well, I don't think they know how to look, probably, but,
Yes, it's probably a combination of both.
right, okay.
It's not intuitive, I guess, is the issue. Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. We've had discussion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
All right, I move approval of Resolution G 2023-56, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to purchase additional playground equipment from Landscape Structures for 7 Gables Park Phase 2 in the amount of $189,734.
Second.
Discussion.
So phase 1, hopefully, will be shipped next
Yep.
week.
The ship on 5/12 is still
Yeah.
thing. He said it would take 5 to 6 weeks to install.
Oh, that's better than what we were expecting.
But he still has not given me when it will start.
Oh,
He said he
okay.
had to meet with his installer to find out a start date.
Okay.
So that I still don't know.
All right. And I know that it's 189 for the second phase, but we're getting additional money from like the fire department, from CC, who else is
The
doing?
Rotary Club.
Rotary Club.
Yeah,
Good.
so it's about
Okay.
16,000 we've gotten so far in donations.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact the sheriff too.
So where do they
Oh,
store?
yeah, I forgot about that.
Go to them.
Okay.
Who?
Okay, McCluskey.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Where do they store Phase 1?
Yeah, they need to do a car.
They can do a
Like
car
really
car
cool
dealership
car.
or a car or something in there.
Yeah.
They'd be into that. And where do they store this if it's going to be waiting to be installed?
I don't know. I guess they could put it inside our maintenance barn for the time being.
Okay.
I don't know if it comes in big boxes.
Yeah.
What's,
don't know.
what's the footprint look like? Has it been
They
expanded?
still haven't given me changes yet. So originally it was they were gonna push it all up front, but then we told them it was too crowded, so they're gonna move it back.
And we want to
some.
save the trees and all,
Yeah, and save
Yeah.
the trees, so they were gonna move it behind all the trees.
Okay. Okay.
So it'll be a very nice park for the residents around that area.
I
They
think for-
deserve it.
I think for the whole township.
For sure.
Especially we get our passport and everybody gets to see these things.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a big opening. We're gonna plan that, that's gonna be fun.
So once we order this second, I think he told me it would ship in September-ish. So if it's another 5 to 6 weeks installation, so that's October, November. So hopefully it's done before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking 2023 and bicentennial's 2024, so.
Right, I know, that's why I was trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
hurry
okay.
this along so that it all
Right.
could all be done, so we weren't waiting next year going,
All right.
it got delayed again, I would rather,
Okay.
do it now.
Are we going to talk about the other improvements there at the same time? I mean, like the sidewalk to get to Seven Gables Park and then the.
Yeah,
improved-
that's the next resolution.
That's the
Okay.
next bullet point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a motion, second discussion. Any other discussion?
No, let's hurry this up.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye. I move approval, Resolution G 2023-57, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to sign an amended agreement with Choice One Engineering for engineering services for Seven Gables Sidewalk Project in the amount of $17,920.
Second?
Discussion. Is this what you had a
So
question on?
the original cost estimate that we had, the original agreement at the last meeting that was approved, it was originally to put sidewalks on the south side because that's the side that we own, from the parking lot to where Gable Glen kind of lines up, like between us and Horder.
Then we have to cross the street?
Well, they're gonna have to cross the street regardless. But Bill thought it might be a better idea if we just do the north side, and that way we can go all the way down to Winfield Lane, and then go all the way across, all the way over to Mason Montgomery Road, which would connect into a much larger sidewalk system because we got that sort of grant, so we'll be putting sidewalks. There's already sidewalks on Mason Montgomery Road, and then we'll be putting them the remainder of the way up to Fields Erdel, and then from Fields Erdel all the way to Montgomery Road, and then you'll be able to come back all the way down Montgomery Road. So it'll be this big circle. So that's what the amended agreement is for the additional money, because it's a longer stretch of sidewalk.
Okay.
And then we'll probably have to look at a crosswalk to get across the street.
And this is just engineering services. This isn't doing the job.
Right, right.
And all this to get an improved walking path in Seven Gables Park to meet ADA.
Right,
Yes,
but we
but
get
it's-
grant money, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we're spending more on the engineering services than we are on putting the walk in the park.
No.
That's 40,000 for one thing, right?
It's probably 60 or 65,000 for
Now?
the walk itself. It's like 70, I think, with our paving bid. So it's 70,000 to put the
It was
walk
40
in.
last year.
We're getting, well, prices have gone up. So then we're getting 50,000 in the grant, but then, we're also trying to make it more accessible for people to come to the park. And we've also said publicly for years that we want to increase the network of the sidewalks so that people can get out and about, walk, enjoy the community, get to all the different parks, libraries, post office, etc.
And this is just a reminder. I know we're talking about the pathway, Hopewell Park. We've had people express. Is that not on here too?
Yep, that's on here too.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
I move approval, Resolution G 2023-58, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to enter into a contract with Municipal Development and Funding LLC to design, build, and finance the new service garage Township Administration Building with an initial payment in the amount of $7,500.
Second.
Discussion.
Is-
So
They have some cool bars.
if you open up this black packet, so what originally happened was 2 years ago, we looked into this with Morton because we were just going to build a service, we were interested in building a service building. Basically with so many garage doors and so many bays and, for us to put all of our equipment that we have outside inside. So we reached out to Morton, at the time during COVID with all the shortages of the steel and cost changing monthly. Morton shut down their whole estimating division, and so nobody could get any bids out of Morton. So now they've opened all that back up, and they work with a municipal financing company that does financing. So it's basically a design build company. So they will come in, you pay them the initial payment of $7,500, and they will start designing and laying out the layout of the building. And then they will also work through all of the other elements, like how many meeting rooms do you need, how much garage space do you need, how many bathrooms, that kind of, and the like. And then the bond company, the municipal financing, will actually find the contractors, get bids, and then you don't have to bid it out, you don't have to try to get the lowest bidder. They work with local contractors and they do everything for you. And then at the end, you can decide how you want to finance the building. Whether you want to outright purchase it, if you want to finance it for a couple of years, if you want to do a lease purchase, however we want to design this, they can do that. While we were talking to them about the service garage, I had asked them their opinion about would it be cheaper for us to just go ahead and maybe plan for like a second phase where we could add on a building to do a township administration building instead of maybe building it by itself over at the Safety Service Center. What if we just connected it to the service garage? And we know that we're going to make that connection when we build the service garage. What would that look like and what would that cost? So that's why the title is worded that way.
The only thing I need to understand a little better is that this is an initial payment in the amount of $7,500. There's no cap.
This is a deposit. So you pay them $7,500 and it goes toward the cost.
But we don't know what the cost is.
Well, we think they gave us an initial estimate of 1.5 million to 1.75 million. That's the initial cost.
Okay, now this is for both the service department
Yeah, it was for
and
like a 9,200 square foot building, so I'm sure it'll go up once we
and
give the
administration building?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you are providing the first input to them as to what's needed in the administration building?
Yep.
Office space, meeting space, meeting rooms?
Yep,
Okay, all right,
yep.
okay.
Is this entity through the state bid or?
I don't think they're through the state bid. Morton Buildings is through the state bid, but,
Do we need 3 prices?
yeah, they get prices. They will get 3 bids on everything.
Okay, so they're like a consultant.
They're like a
Yeah.
general contractor or something
Yeah.
then? Okay. And this is not Morton directly, this is a company that's,
They work with Morton, so they do the finance side of it. And then Morton comes in and provides the building, and then this other company they find contractors to finish it out.
Okay.
what's timing on this?
Well, we would start now, and I was hoping to be done with the design by the end of the year, to where we could bid it out, and then hopefully be done by the end of 2024, because that's when we have to spend the rest of our ARPA money.
Okay. I have no problem in spending $7,500 to get something going and looking at plans and so on and so forth, but for you guys' interest, I did ask Kim, does that negate us ever putting an administration building over next to the Safety Service Center or connecting them? And she answered a certain way that we'd have to put it on the ballot?
Yeah, I think there's a provision in the revised code, I still can't find it, I know I've run across it one time, where it says that if you were building a township hall, anytime you build one, you have to put it on the ballot to get approval from the voters. So that's why I thought.
Even if you had the money to pay for it?
Yeah. So that's
Go
why I thought
figure. Go figure.
if we made it with the township service garage,
Okay.
it's no longer just a town hall, it is a fully functioning township multi-purpose building.
So we would have to put it on the,
No, that's why I was trying to,
Trying to stay where we are.
yeah,
yes.
Okay. Okay.
okay.
All right. Roll call, please.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2023-59, resolution authorizing the township administrator to replace and purchase new security cameras for Symmes Park in the amount of $16,571.43.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is to replace the one camera that we only have one camera in Symmes Park, and it's pretty much obsolete, and we really can't see a whole lot with it, and we can't do the zoom function on it or rotate it. So we would like to replace that camera with this new camera system. I think it's multiple cameras, but then we also would want more cameras so that we can get better coverage of the whole entire parking lot, because we still seem to have issues with the parking lot down by the shady structure.
Okay. I'd mentioned to you in a side conversation that, are we going to increase capacity here when we put this new camera system in that park? Didn't you tell me we're going to have like 3 locations or so?
Yeah, I think we'll have 3 different cameras now instead of 1, so we'll increase it by 2, I believe.
Okay, so this is for not just one camera, not one camera, this is multiple cameras?
Yeah, it's multiple cameras on the
Okay.
same system.
I wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, so we
And-
already have internet service at that park.
Yes.
It would hook into the existing available service.
Then I had another idea. Do we have any other cameras that were deemed obsolete and so on, that we've removed? Did we keep them?
We have some cameras in this building that we don't really use anymore.
Okay. Can we put those up even as dummies that may not work?
Yeah, I guess we could.
No, that's,
Go ahead.
Jeff will speak up on that,
Yeah.
because you're insinuating that you are watching. If you can't put up a dummy camera without actually using it.
I don't have an answer to that. I've never looked at that specific
I've run
issue.
across that in the past.
Okay.
If you have cameras, they need to be working.
Until they
You're
don't.
giving a false sense of security.
I mean, the one we got supposedly doesn't do very well. Are we in violation?
Well, you can see it. I mean, you
Yeah.
just can't zoom in and do multiple functions with it.
Okay.
It's just kind of stationary and you really can't, that's the problem with it is when things happen in Symmes Park, we do not have the ability to zoom in and look at what happened.
You see
Okay.
just a fuzzy person.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil, I don't doubt you, but I'm going to ask Jeff if he can find that.
Sure.
Okay. I'd like to use these things just to fake people out if we can, but if we can't, I whole 100% in agreement with you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Lees?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye. I move approval of Resolution G 2023-60, resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds for the installation of vandal fence and logo designs on the Snyder Road Bridge over I-71.
Second?
Discussion.
One side or 2 sides?
Well, I still haven't heard back from Sycamore Township, so I can't answer that.
So you've told ODOT or whatever that we want both sides?
Yes, so
And-
that
and
was
do we have the money?
Yes, we have the money budgeted.
Okay. For both sides?
Yes, so
Okay.
basically it would cost $162,072.57 for all associated labor, change in the height and the fence height and the logos. So basically all the attachments to this resolution is basically all their labor. We will have to switch out the height of the fence on the one side from 6 feet to 8 feet because the logo won't fit on a 6-foot fence. So we have to change the height of the fence, and then if Sycamore participates with us, we'll cut this price in half. I think our logo is slightly less expensive than Sycamore's is because of
Less
the
letters.
size and the letters. So we will pay slightly less than them if they participate. But like I said, I've asked Tracy several times and I've never heard back from them. I don't know if you guys have.
Doesn't that meet their criterion? That they wanted to stay below 150,000?
Yeah, they want to stay below 150,000,
So
but
half of this is less than 150,000?
I hear you.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't know. They haven't told me.
Okay, as long as you told ODOT we want to proceed with both
I
sides,
did.
if you don't hear any...
I told ODOT that if Sycamore does not participate, we are putting our logo on both sides of the both
Okay.
sides of the thing.
Okay,
Okay.
So this would just say to ODOT, yes, we're committed.
okay.
I'd sign it tomorrow. Let's go. Roll call?
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2023-61, resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into an agreement with Hart's Seal Coating in the amount of $29,827 to repair and reseal the walking paths and driveway through Union Cemetery, parts of the trail at Hopewell Meadows Park, and portions of the driveway around Safety Service Center.
Second.
Discussion.
So I just want to make sure, they're talking about some areas in Hopewell Park, the roots have.
So
That
those are
will
those
fix that.
areas, yeah, so those areas, we'll grind them down and then just reseal them. And then we have, all of Union Cemetery that needs to be fixed. And then we have, at the safety center, it's basically like where Mayrow, where the driveway meets Mayrow, behind the building and then comes out, and then like where the fire bays come out, that'll be all the way to Seven Gables. So it'll be making whatever necessary repairs and
Okay.
sealing for that.
Okay.
Do we know when that would be finished?
No, but I can ask Bill.
Well, if we're talking about fixed numbers here, we get the bid and so on, we let the contract. It's just a question of when they can get to it, I guess. But you deserve an answer, so she'll get it for you.
Okay, thank you. Forgot to turn my speaker on, sorry. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
I move approval of Resolution G 2023-62, resolution providing for the declaration of nuisance for the property located at 9099 Fox Hunter Lane and authorizing all necessary steps for the abatement of the nuisance.
Second.
Discussion.
Luann's staying on top of Fox Hunter. This is the
one by
repeat,
Humphrey?
yeah.
Yeah.
You familiar with that one,
We have
Bill?
to-
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We have to mow his grass every year, multiple times a year.
Okay. Discussion?
I did one other thing. Jeff, the Airbnb case, that person didn't show up. Any resolution on that?
Is that, wait,
No.
that doesn't pertain to this.
Right, as we understand it, that person did not appear, so a warrant was issued by the court. And
Okay.
And at this point, you just have to find the person and serve them with the warrant and recite them, and they'll get a new court date.
Okay.
Just finding them becomes the difficult part.
Okay. All right,
So,
I'm sorry for the
back to the
interruption.
resolution at hand. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye. No executive session this evening. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.